Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Beyond the Reels, where today I am joined by Lady Luck Games' head of marketing Dorota and its CCO Julian, who will be guiding us through the studio's latest title, Beetle Bailey. How are you both today?
Great.
Super good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. As was said, we're going to be looking at Beetle Bailey. But Julian, can you just explain to the audience what is Beetle Bailey and what inspired you to kind of create this slot?
Let's start from the beginning. Beetle Bailey is an American comic strip created by cartoonist Mort Walker, first published in 1950. As of 2016, the strip was being syndicated by King Features in over 1,800 newspapers in the United States and the rest of the world. There's no doubting that Beetle Bailey is a truly iconic character that will put a smile on players' faces across the globe. He is close to our hearts as Private Bailey enjoyed great prominence in Scandinavia and other European countries, locally appearing as Nassim, Besern, Philippe Flink, and Billy in Sweden, Denmark, Netherlands, and Norway, respectively, becoming a classic comic for over 40 years in these markets alone. Knowing the popularity of this fantastic comic strip, we had no doubt that he should join the portfolio on the reels.
Beetle Bailey is your first branded title. So, Julian, can you just explain why Lady Luck Games has decided to kind of go down this branded route?
The iGaming industry is very demanding, and with a number of new studios joining the business month after month, it is much harder to emerge in the gaming sector. The quality of the games improved a lot in the last few years. However, players and people in general are most likely to choose content that is familiar to them. Many movies are based on books, video games, or comic characters. Regarding slot games, there is no difference. Many game providers choose to create branded content on, and those games were a massive success. With this being said, we found an opportunity to collaborate with King Features and identified some brands that would really help us make our mark as our first branded games. As mentioned before, Beetle Bailey was a great success in Europe, which currently is our primary market. I personally believe that the game will be enormously popular with both players and operators.
And Dorota, just coming to you on this one. When first entering this game, what did you and Lady Luck Games want to stand out to the player instantly?
So we really would like the players to move back in time to 1950s to the a proper army camp. And since this game is based on the comic strip, obviously we wanted to stick to the initial project as close as possible. So our collaboration with King Features while we were developing this game was super tight and super close because we really wanted to make sure that we don't miss anything out, and we are going to let the players know that we brought their drawn and written comic strip on back to life on the reels. So that was super important for us. And we already are quite well known about our sticky design, super good graphics, very nice music. So I do believe that when players first time enter the game, they can experience it all. And the initial action of the game is taken before the Camp Swampy, before the entrance of the Camp Swampy. Players can explore it more later during the bonus games.
Mm-hmm. And, just before we get into the bonus game, players are in there, the reels right in front of them. Dorota, can you just walk us through kind of a base game spin and what highlights the users can expect to witness?
As mentioned before, the initial action of the game is taken before the Camp Swampy. The game has 4 reels and 81 ways to win, rather than traditional pay lives. What players can see on the reels, we have 8 regular symbols as well as 4 special symbols. One of such symbols is wild, that can substitute for any other symbols and help creating winning combination, except obviously the special symbols. And both special symbols, which is the bonus symbol, and Bailey and Sarge can trigger additional bonuses. We really wanted this game to be super well animated, so players can also experience that. So Private Bailey is really well known because of his laziness. He has no energy. Every ground is a good ground to lie down and take a nap. So he's also sleeping under the reels during almost the whole game. He only wakes up when the golf bonus is triggered. We also have Otto. Otto is a dog of Sarge. And during this interview, I really would like to sneak some really interesting story, because everything that we've put into the game is backed up because of what's happening in the comic strip. So I'll share a story about this Otto that is walking behind the reels. So Otto is a dog of Sarge, as I mentioned before, and he was initially abandoned by his first owner and placed in the shelter. And one day Sarge decided to visit that shelter. He looked at Otto and it was like instant crush. They fell in love immediately. And ever since they are best buddies. And since we've decided to put Sarge on the reels, we didn't want to really have a dog as a symbol. But we knew that in the comic strip they're irreplaceable and they're always the same. They even dress up the same. So we really knew that if we put Sarge in that game, Otto has to be somewhere out there because obviously they wouldn't be separated in the original comic strip. So we've put super high additional effort to this game, and anyone, like all fans of Mort Walker, and anyone who is a fan of this comic strip I do believe that it would highly appreciate it.
Perfect. And, the game also comes with its wild wake-up feature. Could you just again walk us through how this is triggered and what happens once it is activated?
Beetle Bailey, as I said before, he's really lazy. He doesn't to do any choices. He would like to sleep all day. And that often really upset his superior Sarge. So we can conclude by now that those two are not really good friends. They don't really like each other much. And every time Sarge is seeing Bailey sleeping, he is fuming. So this is how we ended up creating this wild wake up bonus feature, during which they both fight. So this bonus round is triggered by connecting anywhere on the reel 2 or 3, Sarge and Bailey. Once the two symbols are connected, they start to fight and like massive cloud of dust is created. And out of this dust, the wilds are coming out. And once the dust settles, those wilds are going to be placed on the reels. And that would help players to create a super nice winning combinations. And also it can lead to trigger big wins, mega wins, super wins, during which we have a fantastic big wins animations. And they can enjoy the ride in the car with all the world's iconic characters. So I think that was really well thought through, all this wake up bonus and the story behind it. I think it's important that players and our partners would hear that story.
No, definitely it does. Additionally, the title's main feature round is called Camp Swampy Golf. Similar to how you responded with the Wild Wake Up feature, can you just explain how players activate this round and how it's played out?
Guess what, James?
Another story?
Story time! Okay, so we've placed General Half-Track together with Zero. General Half-Track is a 78-year-old frustrated man who loves playing golf almost as much as he loves flirting with his secretary, because he's married, so he can just flirt. But this is happening during the whole comic strip. And Zero is described as a very simple man, farm boy, who does blindly listen to orders. So we've decided that it's going to be amazing to place them together in the bonus round. So the bonus round is triggered by placing bonus symbol anywhere on the reel 1 and 4. And players will finally be able to jump behind the gate of the Camp Swampy and land on the bonus course. So General Half-Track swings the golf club, and players can see on the board both goals appearing. But we didn't put Zero there without a reason, because Zero is really not very smart. Sometimes he's mistaken the golf balls with explosive grenades, so he is going to place those grenades on the board as well. And the idea behind this bonus game is that players will join the rides in the Jeep with Bailey. They will collect cash prizes. They should also collect the golf balls, but they should avoid the explosive grenades that unfortunately Zero is throwing on the board as well. Good news for the players is that in the bonus game they have 3 lives. They are like kind of tires. So they don't need to worry if it happens once or twice, because they will be brought to life to achieve those big wins and enjoy the game.
The game itself, I believe it harnesses and captures, the beauty and the essence of the original comics, and you've brought it into this modern world to feel a bit more crisp and, just bring it to life. When creating this slot, did you feel any additional pressure in producing the title compared to, say, like original content that you would create at Lady Luck Games? Due to it having an already established fan base?
There's always additional pressure when creating branded games. Everyone who ever did a branded game can relate to that. There are pretty strict guidelines that we need to follow from the rights holder, and they have their own responsibilities to the original artist and honoring the brand's fan base. We've all been grossly disappointed in film adaptations of well-known, well-loved books and series, and it's down to the producer to keep everyone happy. I mean, don't get me started with Max Brooks' World War Z, where Brad Pitt and the storyline completely went off base from the original book, or I Am Legend, for example. I mean, Will Smith did a fantastic job, but not the story. Anyway, apart from the collaboration with King Features, we also needed to make sure that the delivered product would meet great reviews and feedback from players and operators. When we looked at the final game release of this project, it was really rewarding for all the additional sweat and tears. Beetle Bailey is a great game, and we were very proud of it.
And my final question for you, Julian, can you provide us a little snippet into, future activity at Lady Luck Games? Maybe is there another branded slot down the pipeline?
Yeah, no, of course. We want to be as transparent as possible with our roadmap. We have a couple of very exciting productions up our sleeve, which we will be announcing in the next couple of weeks. About the branded content in particular, we have signed a 3-year co-development agreement with King Features. Therefore, the industry and players can expect more branded content from Lady Luck Games. And it's not a secret that we're also working on the iconic slot Popeye. And, we can't wait to show it to you.
Perfect. No, that's everything from me. Thank you for joining me, and, just as Beetle Bailey's background in the army, I salute you for joining us today, so thank you very much. The game looks great, it really does, and just as every time we have these interviews, I'm looking forward to seeing what Lady Luck Games has down the pipeline. Certainly that Popeye slot, because I'm a big fan of the spinach.
It was a pleasure, James. Well.